Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Pemko number 145B. This is a mill brass, solid brass, or architectural bronze, interlocking threshold. It is always a pleasure to be able to review a threshold like this, something that is made of architectural bronze, solid architectural bronze. Now this threshold is available because it's made of solid architectural bronze. You can get this in the mill finish, which is exactly what you're seeing here. The mill finish is going to be exactly what the item will look like when it comes from the mill, the extruding factory or the mill that is going to manufacture this. We can do this in a satin finish. It would be a brushed satin finish, and it would be just like a US 4 satin brass sort of finish. We can also do it in a polished brass finish, which is super shiny, looks so nice, and as does the satin, that you really don't even want to install it when you've got it all done. We could also do it in an oil rubbed bronze finish as well, which is very common. Interlocking thresholds. And this happens to be a 3-foot piece here, and thankfully it's only 3 foot because this piece weighs about 6.5 pounds, the threshold itself. Okay. Interlocking threshold. I'm a big fan of them because they're smart. It's like it's modern technology that was invented several decades ago. Here's what I mean. People that have installed an interlocking threshold know how effective of a vehicle they are to seal the bottom of the door, and it's because of a mechanical interlock that you have. And that is accomplished by the hook strip, and you can actually see it right here. That's going to be included. That item is going to attach to the bottom of the door, and when the door is closed, it will mate to this lip right here and will make an incredibly effective positive mechanical seal. Okay, a lot of people like that. You're going to have homes here in Chicago on the northwest side of the city. I've seen interlock thresholds have been installed for decades and worked like the day they were put in. And quite frankly, this sort of item is a 100-year sort of piece of hardware that you're going to have. And the only thing that gets replaced is the hook strip. And that's generally because it's unintentionally damaged. Someone leaves a shoe underneath the door, or a rug or something is put there, or you're moving something and you have to pull the door off and you damage it unintentionally. And that hook strip from Pemko is available separately. It's a B61 hook strip is what that is. More about that in a moment. So that's going to connect here. Now that's part of why this is such great technology. The other reason is because this is a smart threshold, meaning in this trough down here, any water that were to get inside of here will get collected in the trough, and that's good. But what makes this really cool is this weep hole that's drilled here with an exit weep hole notched in the face of the threshold. So any water that gets inside of here will get hopefully captured, run underneath, and then straight out the front of the threshold, right back from where you came kind of situation. And one option that you can get with these thresholds is a water pan, and that is basically a piece of sheet metal, either aluminum or brass, and it's very typical to have a brass water pan with a brass threshold, similar metals, so that any of the water that gets in there would not pool and collect on top of your sill. You might have a wood sill or a limestone sill. Over the years, you don't want water necessarily sitting on top of that. So it'll have a little lip return that will kick up into this hip here. Water gets through here and captured down. So you're going to have a weep hole here in the face of it, and there's another one down here at the other end. You'll have a weep hole drilled in the back of the trough here and at the opposite end as well. So 2 of them. And that's why I really love these thresholds, because they not only will this installation last forever, almost, but it's really effective at doing the job. Now, sure, they're significantly expensive, but you might have an application or encounter an application that requires this sort of installation. You're not going to see anything but something like this installed on the finest of homes or period reproduction work. You might have a threshold from 70 years ago, and what you're replacing it with needs to match. And this very likely could be it. Now, dimensionally, let's go over that. The dimensions of this threshold are incredibly common for interlock, meaning 4-inch wide, is very common. 7/8 height is also very common. That's a middle of the road height for an interlock threshold. 5/8 is going to be typical. 1.25 is going to be typical as well. This one is 7/8. Okay. That door is going to be made to come up right over this area. You're going to have a deflector in here to return that water back on the slope. The hook strip, and I'll put this down now. Well, before I do that, you're going to get with this screws. There'll be brass screws. And then you're also going to get nails to nail that hook strip onto the bottom of the door. This is just a roll-formed piece of brass, is all that it is, typical item. Some people will mortise the bottom of their door, so about 7/8. Overall height, about 1/4 inch. If I was going to be making my undercut, I'd be probably somewhere in the 1 inch range. If you've got 7/8 a threshold, you're going to want that hook strip to be able to lock into the back side of that really well. Give yourself room for this assembly. Something about 1/8 of an inch additional for that. So you can nail this to the bottom of a door with a square bottom, or you can even mortise the bottom of your door, put a notch in it, so that you can have the front of your door hanging down a little bit further in front of that threshold as well. So people that are in the threshold business, when they come across installing one of these with the options of an interlock and a weep hole sort of provision, will end up using it, even if it's not in solid architectural bronze like this. But you can get this same threshold from Pemko 145 in a mill aluminum finish, and naturally that's pennies on the dollar compared to the cost of solid bronze. Dark anodized bronze as well to emulate an oil rubbed finish. So you can do the same sort of technology in a much less expensive item as well. Pemko is a comprehensive manufacturer of all things weather stripping related, and they're even capable, I've learned recently, of doing things that are quite custom in nature. If it involves welding material, or not welding on bronze, but attaching material together. Now this item is available in several different lengths in the website. By all means, order the size that you need by ordering the next longest piece or pieces, and indicate in the comment field what length you want us to cut the material back to. First of all, the material is sold per foot. So if you're at 66 inch, you're paying for 72 inch, is the logic in that. But keep in mind that you don't have to go up. If you needed a 52 inch piece for whatever reason, you don't need to go to 6 foot. You can order that 5 foot piece, and then, even though you're paying a little bit extra for the extra foot, indicate the net length. It'll save you the trouble of having to cut this. Factory edge is awfully nice to have from them. So if you have a need for a custom length, indicate that in the comment field. We're going to locate, the advantage of that, we're going to locate the countersink at the proper distance from the edge, and therefore the proper center to center as well. You'll certainly not want to have a countersink in a funny location, because if you had to take this 36 inch piece and cut it down to say 30 inch, that countersink's going to be awfully odd. So you're not going to want that. Indicate, we'll locate those countersinks properly. Pemko, comprehensive manufacturer of all things weather stripping related, not only residential like this, primarily residential, but of course commercial. Not only that, they have a line of continuous aluminum geared hinges, sliding pocket door hardware as well. Any questions on this or any other Pemko product, please feel free to reach out to us.